today I'm going to discuss the chapter Print Culture in the Modern World. The previous time had completed the topic of China and Japan, and today I'm going to tell you how the wood block printing and the paper reaches Europe. So you might have heard about the Silk Route. That Silk Route, as the name suggests, for centuries the Silk Route was used to travel from China to Europe. Even spices flowed into Europe through the Silk Route. And in 11th century, the Chinese paper also flowed into Europe through the same route. So they got the Chinese paper. But why was the Chinese paper more prevalent with the print? The Chinese paper was prevalent because with the Chinese paper they could produce manuscripts which were handwritten, the carefully written by the scribes. So this Chinese paper were really important for them, and this is going to be one of your points. And the first point is going to be the Silk Route. The second point is going to be the Chinese paper. Then the third point is, they're not going to have it all written by the scribes. They wanted some more convenient method, and that was brought in by Marco Polo. In 1295, a very great explorer, an Italian explorer, Marco Polo, after visiting China, returned, to Italy. And China already had the technology of woodblock printing, and as I have already told you in my previous tutorial, that it already had the technology of woodblock printing. This Marco Polo carried with himself to Italy back. And so when the Italians got new technology, they started printing books with the woodblock printing, the technique of woodblock printing. And soon, if the other nation has that technology, Europe also, this technology started to spread to Europe side as well. And so the Europeans also started producing their books from woodblock printing. But will the rich agree to such a flip over? They always wanted something that is, that is very flabby, that's very nice, that's very, very luxurious. So for rich, the luxury editions was still written on the very expensive vellum. So vellum is a parchment that is made from the animal skin. So it was still written on the vellum, and they were handwritten. It was not that they were going to be printed by the wood, they were handwritten still. And the second thing is that this was meant for the aristocratic libraries and the monastic circles, because they scoffed at printed materials as cheap vulgarities, because they thought like, oh god, this is so cheap, this is not meant for our status. But what about the ordinary people, the merchants and the students studying in the study towns? Still, they used to buy the cheaper printed copies of everything. For example, if I'm a rich person, I'm going to read Romeo and Juliet, for example. So I'm gonna bring a luxury edition of it, which is handwritten on a vellum, and I'm not gonna go for a cheaper printed copy. But if I'm a student studying in a study town, so what will I do? I'll prefer a cheaper copy perhaps. So that's what was the situation. So how can you frame it up in your mind so that you don't forget? The first point you're gonna make is that the Silk Route. From the Silk Route, it's immediately gonna flash into your mind China, Europe, silk, spices, and the Chinese paper. Then the second point is going to be the Chinese paper. What could they do with the Chinese paper? They made the manuscripts, and on the manuscript something has to be written, and that was written by the scribes. Then the third point is going to come, everything could not be done with that scribes, and so they wanted a more convenient method. Then came in Marco Polo. So you're gonna just remember who was Marco Polo, 1295, and what he did. He was a great explorer. He came back to Italy with the wood block printing technology, and then suddenly you're gonna remember that what happened to the rich in Europe? What did the rich do? Then you're gonna remember the luxury editions, the vellum, and the aristocratic circles, the monastic libraries. They're scoffing at it as cheap vulgarities. And then you're gonna remember the ordinary people. So what did the ordinary people do? They used to buy the cheaper printed copies. Then going on to the further into the topic is when they had this fast method of printing, that was woodblock printing. What did happen? Publishers all over Europe began exporting books to different countries. For example, if we take the example of somewhere America or Asia, we did not China, Asia, perhaps the other countries including in Asia. So we did not have that technology, so they used to export books. And second thing by which they could enhance their book production was that organizing fairs. They used to organize book fairs in which they used to, just deal with around with books. And then there were, manuscripts which were very famous. So what they used to do, and those two handwritten manuscripts. So what they used to do is that, they used to organize the production of manuscripts, handwritten manuscripts, in new ways. And before, the scribes were employed by wealthy, influential patrons. But now scribes work for booksellers. More than 50 scribes work for one bookseller. So this is how, the transition was going on. When the book block printing came into the scene, they started, they thought that printing was another very good business. So how to, just take it up, make it more famous. So what they used to do is that, they used to, as I've already told you, the first point that's going to come into your mind is, export. By export, you can do it by organizing book fairs, by good production, and by scribes. But the production of handwritten manuscripts could not satisfy the demand that was coming in. And as copying was a time-consuming, laborious, and a very expensive task. Moreover, manuscripts were fragile, not easy to handle, and could not be carried or read around easily. Woodblock printing, on the other side, was, not very expensive. It was cheap, and it was not a time-consuming, and it was not a laborious task. And the printed books could be carried around easily and read easily, and all the things were just the opposite to the handwritten manuscripts. And so woodblock printing became very famous, and it could really satisfy the demand of the people. And so by the 15th century, woodblock printing was extensively being used in Europe for printing textiles, playing cards, and religious texts with religious pictures with brief texts. And so woodblock printing came into the picture and suddenly became very famous. But still there was a need for a quicker thing, a more quicker way to print books, because as the demand, as there was an ever growing demand, there had to be some quicker method. And the breakthrough occurred at Strasbourg, Germany, where Gutenberg invented the printing press. This is going to be explained in the next session, and I hope you understood what I told you, and I hope that you will go through this page so that you understand better.